Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about budgets in our financial literacy lesson, and it's been brought to you by lemonade stands, because tons of kids make money selling lemonade. Alright, so our goal today is to be able to balance a budget and understand what a budget is. Let's get to it. So our video lesson today is on financial literacy and more specifically, budget. So you might have some sort of income like mowing lawns or lemonade stands or babysitting or some other way that you are getting money. And so now you have to have a budget. So what is a budget? A budget is a spending plan based on income and expenses. So in other words, it's a plan for what you do with your money. When you budget, you see what you make and what you spend. In other words, a budget is a plan that you make to find how much you can spend based on how much you get. It's kind of like having a spending goal in mind based on what you are getting. All right, so for instance, income. Now I've used that word a couple times and it was in the definition. So what is income? Income is money that is received or earned. So anytime you get money, that is income. It's like incoming money, yeah! Which I love. Money coming in. That's great. It's great. So that is income, is money that you are receiving. So this could be for like babysitting, mowing lawns, lemonade stand, allowance if you get allowance, those sort of things. Then you have expenses, the other word that we used. Expenses is money when spent or on something, or it's money going out. It's money leaving. Oh no, come back. So that could be anything like buying video games or makeup or ice cream or whatever else you spend your money on. That could be expenses. Another thing that's also expenses is savings. So if you put money aside, that is not income, that is money that you already received. So it's also going to a different account. That's kind of an expense. So that's savings is also an expense, but it's a good expense because you can use it later. All right. So if our budget is our plan for spending money based on our income and expenses, we need to have a balanced budget. So what is a balanced budget? A balanced budget is when the income is equal to the expenses. And you can think of it like the scale thing. So it's going to be the same on both sides. Based on the scale, it's going to be the same. The income, money coming in, is going to be the same as expenses. So if your income is greater than your expenses, that's a really good thing to have, a good problem. However, that's not balanced. I like it, but it's not a balanced budget. And if your expenses are greater than your income, then you're in trouble because then you're spending more money than you're coming in. And then you overdraft your account and then your bank is like, you owe us more money, but you're like, I don't have any money because I spent it all. And that's not a good thing. So you want to make sure that you have a balanced budget. So let's get on to some questions that we might see in these situations. So, for instance, this month Sam's expenses are greater than his income. What are two actions Sam can take to balance his budget? So what could he do to make it where it's balanced again? Because right now he's in trouble because his expenses are greater than his income. So one, he could increase his income. So if he wants to spend that much, he can increase his income so that he makes more money. And two, decrease his expenses, which means to lessen, to make less. So don't spend as much is really what that means. So we're going to increase our income and decrease our expenses. So make more money, spend less money. It's basically 2 steps. Question 2. Sam's net income for the month of May was $2,564. The table shows his May budget except for an amount in the other category. So if you look at his chart, his rent, he's paying $1,100. Utilities, $265. Transportation, $252. Food, $425. Savings, $450. And then other. Now, other is kind of like just extra spending. So you have some money that you can just spend, and that's kind of like the other category. It doesn't have a bill or anything. It's just going to be the extra money that you spend. So the question becomes, what amount should be used in the other category in order for Sam's May budget to be balanced. Remember, balanced means we're going to have the same income and expenses the same. So I want you to go ahead and pause and see if you can solve this. All right, so the first thing that we would have to do in this is to figure out what all of our expenses are. So we already know what our net income, and net again means the money that you make after taxes. Gross is before taxes, net is after taxes. So if his net income is $2,564, we need to figure out what his expenses are. So we're going to add all of those up. $1,100 for rent, $265 for utilities, $252 for transportation, $425 for food, $450 for savings, and then we have the other we do not know yet, so we can't add that one. So those added would be $2,492. So now that we know what most of our expenses are, we need to figure out what other is. So we can this plus what equals 2,564, or we can say 2,564 minus 2,492. So what is 2,564 minus 2,492? Well, it's 72. So in our chart, the other, Sam has $72 to spend on others to have a balanced budget. Okay, so now let's go on to question 3. Question 3 for our balanced budget is so far this month, Lexi has the income and expenses shown in the chart. Lexi's current budget, so our income and our expenses. So this one looks a little bit different than the other chart or table, but this one is showing income on one side, expenses. So Lexi's been working hard. She's been mowing lawns, she's been running a lemonade stand, selling bracelets, babysitting, but she did spend a little bit of money, $15 for movie tickets, $20 for clothes, and then we don't know about this hoverboard. So let's go to our question. Lexi wants to buy a hoverboard, but also have a balanced budget. Based on Lexi's current budget, what is the greatest amount of money she can spend on a hoverboard? So we want to know if she has a balanced budget, what is the most amount of money she can spend on this hoverboard to keep it balanced? So go ahead and pause and see if you can solve this. All right, so first thing we're going to do is add up all of our income, all of Lexi's income. $30 for mowing lawns, $42 for lemonade stand, $15 for the bracelets, and $50 for babysitting. Add those up and you get $137. She was busy. Now, next thing we need to do is add up the two expenses that we know about. We know the $15 for movie tickets and $20 for clothes. So what is the total cost of those two items? $35. So she spent $35. So now for her to budget this hoverboard, to figure out how much she can spend on it, we are going to have to subtract 137 minus 35, which equals 102. So she was able to spend $102 on a hoverboard. So she can figure out anything. She can go and look and see about the hoverboard that she can buy with that money. All right, so basically that is it. That's all we have to do is to figure out a budget. So coming up with a plan on how to spend your money. And that's all there is to it. All right, if you have any questions, please ask your teachers. That's it. Bye. Lemonade, get your lemonade. Give me your money for some lemonade. Oh, you want some lemonade? Oh, wait, come back here. Give me your money for some lemonade.